Hi guys, welcome to a Christmas reading vlog. I have been so ready to dive into a couple of my Christmas reads that I have. I'm not one to normally read Christmas books just because I don't own that many, but I bought a few this year and I've been kind of anticipating them lately. And with my tree now up, it's just got me into the Christmas mood. And I'm so looking forward to reading some of these books. So I'm actually going to start with a romance novel on my Kobo, and it's In a Holidaze by Christina Lauren. I have heard so many good things about Christina Lauren. So as far as I know, In a Holidaze is a romance that's kind of like Groundhog Day, where the main character kind of gets stuck in a time loop and has to figure out how to get out of it, and there's romance in it somehow. I don't know. That's all I know about it so far. I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm not a big fan of time loop situations just because I feel like it's really overdone, and if not done correctly, it gets pretty boring pretty fast. But I have high hopes for this one just because I've heard so many good things about Christina Lauren's writing, and I think it's long overdue for me to read one of their books. And then I also like to read poetry kind of while I'm reading novels just because I find it gives me a little break, and I do like reading poetry some nights before bed. I don't have any Christmas poetry though. I feel like there's not a lot out there, and if it is, it's probably very cheesy. So I asked my boyfriend to just pick a book of poems and we'd just read that one together for now. He actually chose poems about trees, which is an everyman's pocket. How do you freaking say that? Which is an everyman's Pocket Poets Library, which is an Everyman's Library Pockets poem collection. And that's all it is poems about like trees and nature and stuff like that. Honestly, all year round is the perfect time for nature poetry. I absolutely love nature poetry, so I was super pumped that he picked this one. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna start reading In a Holidaze. Probably get cozy in my bed because it is snowing outside, and it's also pitch black, so I can't really show you. So I'll talk to you guys again in a bit. Okay, so I finished In a Holidaze by Christina Lauren, and I absolutely loved it. It was so good. I was really nervous about the time loop plot because I find that can be really repetitive and just gets kind of boring and tedious after, like, especially the first 2 times through a time loop, but they did it really, really well, and it didn't get repetitive, it didn't get boring, and by the end I kind of even forgot that we were in a time loop. It was done really well, I'll say that. But this one I'm definitely giving 5 stars. It was just super cute. I could picture it in my head perfectly. I loved all of the characters. They were all really well written and really well rounded. I really loved it. I highly recommend it. It's not too spicy for people who don't like spice, and super cute. I loved it. I can't say enough good things about it without completely spoiling it, but super, super good. Next, my boyfriend and I have already started reading a classic Christmas treasury, or rather he started reading it to me last night while I was wrapping some Christmas presents for our nieces and nephews. So this is just a bind up of a lot of classic Christmas stories that are pretty short. So the first one is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. We are on page 22 or 23, and I think this one itself is around 80 pages. That was my cat, I'm sorry. Anyways, I think A Christmas Carol itself is around 80 pages. Neither of us have read A Christmas Carol But yeah, this is a very beautiful bind-up of a lot of classic Christmas stories, and I feel like it's going to be really fun to kind of read over the next couple of weeks leading up to Christmas. That's what I'm going to do now for the next little while, is probably read out loud to my boyfriend. Maybe we'll finish A Christmas Carol. My cat is like knocking at the door right now. We'll see kind of where the evening takes us. And then we haven't started our poetry collection yet either, but hopefully we'll start maybe reading that tonight too. Anyways, I will talk to you guys once I have an update. So my boyfriend and I finished a classic Christmas treasury. We read it out loud to each other over the span of a few days, almost a week I think. And it's filled with multiple short stories and classic Christmas stories. So together we rated them individually by each story. So I kept track of all of the ratings for each story on my phone as we went along. So I'll let you know all of the ratings for each individual story. I think I'm going to add them together and then divide it by how many stories there are and find like my average rating and just rate the whole thing that. So first it was A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and we rated that one 5 stars. Such a classic, really loved that one. Neither of us had ever actually read it. We'd only ever seen like TV adaptations. So we both really liked that one. Next was The Gift of the Magi, and we rated that one 5 stars as well. Next was Christmas at Melrose by Leslie Pinkney Hill, and that one we rated 4 stars. After that was 'Twas the Night Before Christmas by Clement Clarke Moore. That one is an absolute classic, so we rated that one 5 stars. I really love that one. Next was The Nutcracker and the Mouse King by Ernst T. A. Hoffman. That one we rated 3 stars. I've seen the Barbie adaptation of the Nutcracker ballet, and I really loved that movie when I was a kid, but the story was a bit confusing at times. Not my favorite Christmas story I've ever read, I'll just say that, and it was also very lengthy. Next was Babushka by Bailey and Lewis. This one was based off of, I'm pretty sure it was like a Russian tale that was supposed to make kids be good, kind of like Santa Claus, but it was honestly really creepy and not my favorite one, so we rated that one 2 stars. We were both honestly kind of freaked out by it. Next was Bits by Helen G. Ricks, and we rated this one 3 stars. We did like it, and it was a very interesting one that neither of us had ever heard of before, so it was really nice that it was included in this collection. Next was Little Piccola, and we rated that one 3 stars. Also a good one that we'd never heard of. Next was The Fir Tree, which we rated 5 stars. We both really enjoyed it. I'd never read it, neither had my boyfriend, but we've kind of seen and heard stories that were very similar to it, and I really enjoyed that one. And that one was by Hans Christian Andersen. And then last was The Boy with the Box by Mary Griggs van Voorhees. I think I'm saying that correctly. And that one we also rated 5 stars. It was very heartwarming and honestly really cute. That's one I would definitely reread over and over again, like every year. So now I'm going to tally this up and kind of see where I'm at for rating this collection as a whole. Okay, so it actually worked out perfectly to be precisely a 4-star rating. So that's what I'm going to rate a classic Christmas treasury. And I feel really good rating it that because honestly it did give me 4-star vibes. This is one that I'd really recommend if you have kids and you want to read classic stories to them out loud around Christmas time, like around your Christmas tree or with a hot cup of tea or something like that. I feel like it's like a cozy, like fireplace, warm kind of vibe. I don't know. But I did really enjoy it. 4 stars seems like the perfect rating to me, and I do really recommend this one. Now my boyfriend and I are going to read Letters from Father Christmas by J.R.R. Tolkien. We're both really looking forward to reading this one. It's letters that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote from Father Christmas to his own kids over the years, and it seems really sweet. There's illustrations throughout it, actual like copies of his writing, because he did it in like special font and stuff like that when he was writing them for his kids. But we were both really excited about this one, so we're going to slowly read it over the next week or so, because Christmas is in a little over a week now. And then I'm also going to be reading a book on my Kobo, because I'm kind of in the mood for another Christmas romance. I really loved In a Holidaze, and I'd love to read something else, hopefully as good as that. So I'm going to be reading Just for December. I'm really looking forward to it. It's supposed to be like an enemies to lovers, I think, and like a fake dating kind of situation. I think it had okay ratings on Goodreads. I can't really remember. I want to say it was below 4 stars, but that's okay, because romance is very subjective, I find, and it really depends what people are into for that. It's a tricky category to rate. Okay, so my camera shut off in the middle of my sentence, but basically I just went on to say that I'll update you guys whenever I've finally read something, and I also really apologize. I just saw some of the clip that I just filmed, and one of those silly little things that you use to hang up your sweater was literally like sitting like that. I don't know. I'm really, really sorry about that, because it's gonna drive me nuts, but I hope it doesn't drive you nuts too much. So sorry. I'll talk to you guys again later. So I finished Just for December by Laura Jane Williams, and I must say I did like it, but I'm going to rate this one 3 stars. I did enjoy it, but as far as the romance went, honestly, there was no romance until well over halfway through the book. Like, it was a slow burn, and I don't even know if I can even call it a slow burn, because there wasn't much heat at the end of the wait and the anticipation. Honestly, there wasn't even a kiss until over 200 pages into the book, but thought I'd put that in there. If you're looking for like a fast-paced book, this definitely is not one that you should pick up. Another thing that kind of bothered me about it a little bit is that one of the main characters is supposed to be a famous actor, so they constantly are name-dropping real-life famous actors, and at first it was okay, but after a little while it got a bit obnoxious and just kind of made me roll my eyes and go like, we could just cut this out. Like, there's no need for it to be there. But overall it was an alright novel. I don't think I'd read it again, but for like a one-time read, it was alright. So my boyfriend and I are also almost finished Letters from Father Tolkien by... What am I saying? And my boyfriend and I are also almost finished Letters from Father Christmas by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I think we only have like probably less than 50 pages to go, but we are absolutely loving this. We're loving reading it together, and it's super wholesome and cute, so I'll let you guys know my rating when we've finally finished that. And honestly, I was kind of gonna leave it there for Christmas books, but then I was perusing the audiobooks that come with the Audible subscription, and I had no idea how many titles were on that, and one in particular really caught my eye that I really want to listen to right away, and that's The Chimes by Charles Dickens. And the reason why it really caught my eye and I'm looking forward to listening to it right away is because it's narrated by Richard Armitage, and if you are not a Hobbit or Tolkien fanatic. He plays Thorin Oakenshield in the 2013 movie adaptation of The Hobbit. I feel like it's going to be a really fun experience listening to him narrate a novel. I've never even heard of The Chimes before by Charles Dickens, but I feel like it's going to be hopefully a good one. I really liked A Christmas Carol, so if it's anything like that, it's going to be good. So I guess I'm going to update you guys whenever we finish Letters from Father Christmas and now The Chimes, which really shouldn't take me too long. I should probably be finished both of those in the next like 24 to 48 hours, honestly, as long as I actually read and don't just scroll through TikTok for mind-numbingly long hours. Anyways, I will talk to you guys again and wrap this up when I'm done those.
Well, it is a long story. The troubles lasted for over a fortnight, and it began to look as if I should never be able to get my sway out the shore. The goblins had set part of the store on fire and captured
So I finished The Chimes by Charles Dickens, narrated by Richard Armitage on Audible. Richard Armitage's narration, to me, 5 stars. I really loved it. He was super dramatic and his voice was really, really good for such a dark story that it was. The story itself, 2 stars. Definitely not my cup of tea, personally. I definitely preferred A Christmas Carol. I had never even heard of The Chimes before this, so it was kind of on a whim. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was very, very wordy, kind of confusing, especially at the beginning. I had no idea what was going on just because of how wordy it was, which also made it a bit slow and boring. It was only like a 3-hour and 40-minute long audiobook, but it honestly felt a lot longer than that, and I had it going at like 1.2 times speed, so not my favorite by Charles Dickens. And then my boyfriend and I finished Letters from Father Christmas by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I have to say this one is absolutely 5 stars. We both loved it. The detail he went into was really well done and just so amazing. The effort he put in to these letters that he just sent his kids throughout the years is amazing. He illustrated a lot of them too, which was super nice, and it honestly made my boyfriend and I really sad once you'd get past certain years and you'd see like some of his kids would stop believing. Definitely recommend this one. It was so well done, and this edition in particular is gorgeous, and I definitely think that we are going to be reading this probably every year around Christmas time. So I'm going to leave this here for now, I guess. I really enjoyed reading Christmas reads. I don't normally read a lot of Christmas reads. Normally I don't even read anything Christmas. But this year I decided to change it up, and I don't regret it. I actually had a lot of fun doing this, and definitely got me into the Christmas mood a lot more, so yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys soon. I hope you have a great rest of your week, a great rest of your year, because I probably won't post another vlog until next year. Happy holidays and happy reading.